Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to today's session. On day 2, it's our pleasure to introduce our estimated speaker, Mr. Daudi Riganda, the Investment Promotion Manager Foreign at the Tanzania Investment Centre, Ministry of Investment, Industry and Trade. Mr. Riganda is a seasoned expert in investment promotion, and his insights into investment in Tanzania energy sector, opportunities, incentive, and sustainable growth will be invaluable. Extensive knowledge and dedication to facilitating investment in Tanzania have played a pivotal role in the organization. Without further ado, let us warmly welcome Mr. Daudi Riganda to the virtual platform where he shares his expertise and unravel the incredible investment opportunities in Tanzania dynamic energy sector. Mr. Riganda, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Mr. Riganda, your mic is mute, so please unmute your mic. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I will start by introducing myself, as you have said, and correct one thing. Right now, Tanzania Investment Centre is not under the Ministry of Investment, Trade, and Industry. Tanzania Investment Centre right now falls under the President's office, and we have the minister who is responsible for planning and investment. So we are not under the Ministry of Industry and Trade anymore, but rather we are under the President's office, and we have the minister who is dealing with planning and investment. So I'll take you through the presentation.
Mr. John, can you just share the PPT slides, please?
Just a second, Mr. Gunn.
Well, can I proceed?
Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Riganda.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to give an overview of the Tanzania's investment climate, opportunities, and incentives in Tanzania. And the presentation will cover mainly 5 or 6 parts.
Sorry for interrupting, Mr. Riganda. Can you just go in the presentation mode if you don't mind, sir? At the bottom, you need to select here the presentation mode.
Okay. Yes. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's very much okay. It's perfect. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Thank you. So my agenda will be, as you can see from the screen, I'll just give the introduction on what the Tanzania Investment Centre is, and I'll cover services that are provided under the Tanzania Investment Centre through our one-stop facilitation center, and I will also give reasons why investors should choose to invest in Tanzania, and I'll also discuss a little bit about investment categories, investment incentives, and finally, it will be investment opportunities in the energy sector. So, Tanzania Investment Centre, for those who do not know what Tanzania Investment Centre is, this is the government agency that is responsible mainly for 4 issues. One is to promote investments. 2 is to coordinate investments. 3 is to facilitate investment. And the fourth is to advise the government on all matters related to investment policies and investment climate in Tanzania. As I've said, we are under the president's office, and we have the minister who's responsible for planning and investments. Tanzania Investment Centre operates as a one-stop shop or one-stop center. We have 12 different government departments, ministries, and agencies that are working under the TIC to provide services or support or to investors when those investors are applying for licenses, permits, and approvals. So as you can see from that screen, those 12 government ministries or departments and agencies we have BRELA. BRELA is the business licensing and business registration and the licensing agents. That is mainly for company registration and business licenses. We have TANESCO, that is for energy supply. In Tanzania, we have the TMDA, we have the OSHA, we have the NEMC, that is for environmental issues. We have the NIDA, that is for national identification number. We have the TRA, that is the Tanzania Revenue Authority. We have the TBS, that is Tanzania Bureau of Standards. We have also a Department of Labor to facilitate or to assist investors who are applying for work permits in Tanzania. We have a Department of Immigration just to assist investors who are applying for residence permits, and those are foreign investors for sure. So that is the one-stop center that is under the TIC. TIC provides also a comprehensive investment acceleration and aftercare services for investors. And we also have, Tanzania is named, or Tanzania is one of the top countries with most attractive investment destinations in Africa. And that is according to the report which was provided by the Africa CEO survey, organized by the Deloitte in 2022. We have the government investment agenda, and the government investment agenda is according to the vision, the government vision of 2025, to make Tanzania a semi-industrialized country by 2025. And Tanzania Investment Centre is therefore mandated by the government to champion the industrialization vision of the country. And it does so by facilitating and promoting investors who are establishing various investment projects, mainly manufacturing. So why invest in Tanzania? First is because of peace and political stability. Tanzania is named as one of the peaceful countries in Africa. We have a political stability in Tanzania. And we have been also conducting fair elections, multi-party elections in Tanzania. We have good governance Tanzania has never witnessed any civil war or internal strife in our country. We have never experienced that. So for that case, we are considered as one of the peaceful countries in Africa, the place where one can come and invest peacefully without any political problems. The other reason is because of economic stability. We have high growth of economic growth. That's according to the GDP, and the rate is 7%. We have low inflation, which is 4.7, and we have also a resilient economy, averaged at 7%. Tanzania is also rich in terms of natural resources. We have arable land, we have natural gas, we have so many tourist attractions, and we have labor force, cheap labor, if you can call that. So for those investors who are interested to come and invest, they will enjoy those areas. We have arable land, we have natural gas, we have extractives, we have tourist attractions from Mount Kilimanjaro, Serengeti, Ngorongoro, all of those. For those investors who are investing in Tanzania, their investments are also guaranteed. They are protected against non-commercial risks. Why? Because Tanzania has signed various bilateral investment treaties, bilateral trade agreements. Tanzania is also a member of MIGA, that is the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. We are also a member of African Trade Insurance. We are also a member of ICSID. ICSID is International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. Tanzania is also strategically located. We have 3 deep seaports, we have 3 international airports, we have also 3 rail lines. Investors also may enjoy access to markets. Why? Because Tanzania is a member of the East African Community. We're also a member of the SADC, Africa Free Trade Area. We are also a member of AGOA, EBA, and we have good agreements. We have good relationships or agreements with specific countries like China, Canada, and Japan. So whoever invests here may choose where to sell the product. He may choose to sell it within the country or within East African Community and within the SADC region, or through those arrangements I've mentioned. So those are the main reasons why investors should choose to come and invest in Tanzania. We have 3 categories of investors. One is normal investors. In order for an investor to qualify as a normal investor, the minimum investment capital, if that investor is a foreigner, the minimum investment capital is 500,000 USD. But if is a local investor, the minimum investment capital is 50,000 USD. We have also strategic investors, that is the second category. And to qualify under that category, foreign investors should have the minimum investment threshold or minimum investment capital of 50 million USD. And for the local investors, it is 20 million USD. But the investors may also apply under the third category, which is special strategic investors. And to qualify under that category, investors should have a minimum investment capital of 300 million USD. Now, what is the difference between one category and the other? The difference is threshold, investment threshold, but the other difference is the incentives which will be granted under one category to another. For strategic investors and the special strategic investors, they enjoy more incentives compared to normal investors. Normal investors will enjoy normal incentives, but strategic investors and the special strategic investors will enjoy more and additional incentives. They can even negotiate with the government on which incentives they would need to have from the government. So that's the main difference between one category and the other. I will come to incentives and explain it more. So in order for an investor to be considered under the last two categories, strategic investments and special strategic investments. First of all, they should make sure that the investment capital that is going to be invested in Tanzania is not below 50 million USD. It can be above, but not below 50 million. But the projects should or must create jobs for for the people, for the Tanzanians of approximately 1,000. These projects must create jobs to Tanzanians, and we have set that criterion of 1,000 jobs because the investment money which is going to be injected is huge, is big. So they have to create also many jobs for our people. And the other criteria will be new and innovative technology, which is going to be introduced. And these projects should also bring capacity to manufacture products for export and the earnings of foreign exchange. That is, export of at least 50% of the goods produced or produce import substitution goods. So if those projects meet all these criteria, they will qualify to be given the strategic investor status. Strategic investor status. And these applications for strategic investor status, they are reviewed, and they have also to be approved by the National Investment Steering Committee. And the chairman of that National Investment Steering Committee is the Prime Minister. And Tanzania Investment Centre will act as the secretariat. But this committee comprises also several ministers. We have the Minister of Finance is part of this committee. The minister who is responsible for investment is part of this committee. The minister who is responsible for local government and regional administration is part of this committee. The minister for lands is also part of this committee. And Commissioner General of the Tanzania Revenue Authority is also part of this committee. The governor of the Central Bank of Tanzania is also part of this committee. And the Attorney General of Tanzania is also part of this committee. So these all applications will have to be reviewed and approved by the National Investment Steering Committee. So we have two types of incentives. The first type is fiscal incentives, and the other one is non-fiscal incentives. And these are some of the incentives, fiscal incentives that are granted to the projects with the certificate of incentives in Tanzania. One is exemption on project capital goods. Capital goods, these are like machineries, plants, and related equipment. So such equipment, machinery, and plants will enjoy zero import duty, as well as VAT. There will be no VAT when you import those goods in Tanzania for the project. But there is also a tax relief on deemed capital goods. Investors who are importing deemed capital goods, like utility vehicles for the project, such goods will enjoy import duty exemption at the rate of 75%, and the investors will have to pay 25% plus VAT. And investors who are engaging in sectors that are given much attention or priority by the government, for example, pharmaceuticals, textiles, leather products, assembly of motor vehicles, tractors, fishing boats, they will enjoy a reduction of corporate tax up to 20% during the first 5 years of the operation of the project. But for motor vehicles, assembly of motor vehicles, tractors, and the fishing boats, they will enjoy a reduction of corporate tax up to 10% during the first 5 years. The normal corporate tax in Tanzania is 30%. So instead of paying 30%, they will pay either 20% for pharmaceutical, textile, and leather projects, and only 10% for assembly of motor vehicles, projects, tractors, etc. So these are some of the incentives. We have also non-fiscal incentives. Investors who have the certificate of incentives, they will have an initial of 10 expatriates during the project implementation. This number may increase depending on the project size and other factors. It will depend on the justification of the investor, why that investor needs or wants to employ more than 10 expatriates. But The law says 10 expatriates, that is an automatic immigration quota. If you want them, you can have them. If you don't need them, you can have the number which you require, you need. But those who need more, they can also justify why they need more, and the government will consider their application. So that is one of the non-fiscal incentives. The other one is the unconditional transferability of profit, net profit, and dividends. So for those investors who are investing in Tanzania and they have made profit, and after the payment of withholding tax and the other taxes, they are free. They are allowed to transfer the profits to wherever they want. So that is allowed by our Investment Act. But investors are also guaranteed against nationalization or expropriation. They are protected against nationalization or expropriation by the government. So in other sense, we say investors, investments that is set, that is in Tanzania is protected by the government. It cannot be confiscated, it cannot be nationalized, and things like. So these are also some of the non-fiscal incentives that investors may enjoy during the project operations in Tanzania. So you can see the FDI flows in Tanzania. Top 10, the top 10 countries since 1997 to April this year, China has been leading. China has invested heavily in our country with 1,134 investment projects. And these projects have created jobs to that number of people you can see. And the investment capital which has been invested by the Chinese projects you can also see. But China is followed by UK, USA, Mauritius, India, Kenya, Canada, Australia, Egypt, and the UAE. So these are the top 10 countries that have invested heavily in our country. And some of these projects are in the energy sector. Some are in the energy sector. Though the number of energy projects is not big in Tanzania, and that's why I would want to use this platform to encourage those who are interested to come and invest in Tanzania, particularly in the energy sector, to do so. So Tanzania has a plenty of investment opportunities. We have investment opportunities in agriculture and agro-processing, in livestock, in fishing and aquaculture, in manufacturing, in pharmaceuticals, in tourism, in real estate, in energy, and in mining and metals. But for the purpose of this meeting, my focus will be to the energy sector. So as you can see, the market size, or the size of the market for the energy is huge in Tanzania, and that has been growing year after year. The demand for electricity in rural areas is big, in urban areas is big. The total primary energy supply to date is estimated at 23.91 million metric tons of oil equivalent mtoi. While the grid installed generation capacity is only 1,438.24 megawatt. In terms of renewable sources, we have 561 megawatt that is generated from TANESCO owned hydropower stations and 658 megawatt from the thermal power. The national electricity connectivity is only 14%. And the contribution of non-hydro renewable energy for power generation is less than 5%. So while those are the facts as far as energy is concerned in Tanzania, we have a huge existing opportunities for energy, for generation of energy in Tanzania, especially from solar, from wind, natural gas, from hydro, from coal, geothermal, from ocean, bioenergy, and uranium. And most of the clean energy sources in general in Tanzania are still untapped. They are still untapped. So we encourage investors to come and invest specifically in infrastructure development, rehabilitation and expansion of some of the projects, energy projects, extraction of biofuels, petroleum pipeline and petroleum products, offloading terminals, geothermal exploration and development, and the rural electrification. So all these are the opportunities for the investors. They may choose, they may see where they want to venture, where they want to go, and the government is here to help, to assist them in realizing their projects. So some of these projects, I've shared a document, especially government projects that are looking for JV, joint venture partnerships. I've shared that document with John, and it's a recent report which was prepared by the TANESCO. I can take you through if I can see we still have time, and if the moderator will allow me to do so. So to conclude, I can say potential investors are cordially welcome to come and invest in Tanzania. And up to this, I can say thank you very much for your attention, and we look forward to seeing those who are interested to invest in Tanzania. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Riganda. Thank you. In conclusion, we extend our thanks to Mr. Riganda for this invaluable insights and expertise shared today. We appreciate his dedication and commitment to facilitating investment and forcing sustainable growth. So I would like even to inform all the attendees they are seeing this video. So please stay tuned for our next session. We will be continuing to explore exciting topics. So thanks, Mr. Riganda, once again for your invaluable contribution to this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.